everyone, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sharon and I, as a legacy-free Ninja main, have over 8,000 hours in Dead by Daylight. We do heaps of Dead by Daylight content here, so I hope you enjoy it. Today we are back with another Let's Talk About It video, part 2 of my Dead by Daylight rulebook, killer version. Let's get started with the video. So, last week's video was about my own personal survivor rules that I implement into my games and that I wish other people would do too. If you haven't checked out that video, I will leave a link down below for you to check it out. Right now, we're gonna be discussing my set of killer rules that I use when I play killer. Not that I play it often, but when I do and when I didn't. And I wish that killers use against me and against other survivors. As this is another episode of our Let's Talk About It series, I would love to discuss these rules with you down in the comment section. Disclaimer, these are my rules. It is my game. I've bought this game. You cannot control me. So please stay respectful towards mine and other people's rules. But yeah, let me know what you think of my rules. If you have any other rules of your own, down in the comment section. Let's get started with rule number 1. No tunneling until 2 ES generators are left in the game. I personally really hate it when killers tunnel around 4 to 5 generators left. It makes for a very unfun playstyle for the survivor and, in my opinion, very uninteractive for the killer. Now, I do understand that especially nowadays the meta is to tunnel one person out as soon as possible to give you a massive advantage over the game. But as I said in my survivor rulebook, I wish that people cared a little bit more about each other's fun and not just about their own games. Getting tunneled out of the game instantly when you just started is just plainly not fun. I get it, it's part of the game, and if it happens, it happens, but I don't think it really should happen. Like, I didn't wait in a lobby for 5 minutes to just be tunneled out instantly and not have a chance to even play the game. Once again, if you do it as a killer, you do you, it's your game, but I just, personally don't like it when killers do it, and I don't do it as a killer. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this rule. For example, if someone really massively blocks you with borrowed time, it makes sense to start tunneling them, as they are trying to stop you from getting onto someone else. Therefore, in my own eyes, it's their fault, then you're going after them and they shouldn't complain about it. Or if someone is being a major a-hole, if they're purposely taunting you, acting cocky, just being disrespectful, I feel like they're kind of asking for it, and if you do get tunneled, if you do that, then that's kind of your fault, and if you do tunnel someone who does that, then I don't think you're necessarily doing something wrong. I mean, taunting is whatever, like, it's a mental game, but I don't think you're in the wrong for tunneling someone who tries to piss you off intentionally. Now, what you could do instead is, if possible, get that person who got unhooked down, slug them, and go for the other person that unhooked them. This gives you an insane amount of pressure because person A is slugged, person B is being chased by you, and one person has to get off the generators to get the slug off the ground. This to me is personally a little bit more fun than being tunneled onto a death hook straight away, but I mean, that's a personal preference, and some survivors might prefer to just die instantly and move on than being slugged onto the ground. You can't really please anyone, or everyone I should say. Well, you can't please anyone nowadays either, but yeah, that's just my preference. Rule number 2, do whatever you can or feel like when there are 2 gens left. The way how I see it, if there are 2 gens left, you can do pretty much whatever you want to try and, air quotes, win the game. Be it slugging, camping, tunneling, etc. Yes, sometimes you will hear me complain about it in my streams, because it's still unfun no matter what the state of the game is. However, I think it's totally fine and logical to do it when you don't have much time left. And I would like to urge my fellow survivors to perhaps see it from a killer's perspective as well. I know that most people in this game main one side, and it's harder to see the other side if you do not play that side, but this game is still meant to be played, and of course the killer wants to try their best as well. And sure, being tunneled at 2 generators still isn't fun, but if they haven't tunneled all game and they suddenly switch their playstyle at the end of the game, I think you have nothing to complain about. They tried to give you as fun as a game at the beginning as they could, And now it's your turn to just accept that they still want to try to win the game. And, you know, just try your best regardless. And, you know, don't be a little bee, because sometimes killers want to try to win as well. Rule number 3. Giving the survivors a chance to come back. In my Survivor rulebook, I mentioned how I always try my best to do anything but gens when I feel that the games are going too fast. This is the equivalent of that. If I as a killer see that survivors go down too quick, or they're already on death hook with like 4 gens left, I go for chases, I slug them, I chase someone else, or I just hit them and chase someone else. Anything but killing them on the hook I would do. Games that are stompy are not fun in this game, no matter what side you are. And I will never understand killers who want to end the game at 4 to 5 generators left. It's just super boring and not interactive at all. Unfortunately, Dead by Daylight seems to be all about that nowadays. Either stomp or get stomped on. So when I do play killer, I make sure to give the survivors a chance to come back. Or just to give them more points and a little bit more fun and game time before I kill them. And rule number 4, the last rule of this episode. No toxicity in the endgame chat. This is exactly the same as my survivor rule. I refuse to be toxic in the endgame chat. Often I will just say GG or leave the lobby. I don't think it's bad to be like, man, y'all play boring, or man, I don't really have a good time, but whatever. But if you start insulting people, be hostile, or even worse, I think that's just super lame and you need to check yourself. It's a game. Chill out. I get it was frustrating, but chill. Take a break, perhaps a long one, perhaps an indefinite break from Dead by Daylight until you can, you know, chill out. Like, it's just a game. It's not that serious, and I get it. This game is very emotional. I go through those emotions as well, but you know, to tell someone to off themselves or anything like that is just awful. And I'm sorry, but if you do that, you need to check yourself, because that's just awful. Just for a game, that's actually just awful. Like, there are more important things in life, and a game is just not it. And I get, once again, you don't choose to feel the way how you feel, but you choose to react onto that, and to go hostile in the bad route is just not the route to go. So yeah, one of my rules is just no toxicity. I will, you know, call people bad in my streams because, you know, it's my stream. I try to be entertaining and just talk as much as I can, but I won't type it in the end game chat most of the time. And honestly, calling someone bad is not the equivalent of, you know, telling someone to off themselves, but often I don't do either, because why bother? Game is over, might as well move on. Now, these are all the rules that I currently can come up with and that I like to use when playing killer or when I play against a killer. Let me know down in the comment section, which rules do you agree with or disagree with, and why? Or do you have any rules that you implement in your own games as a killer or wish that killers would implement in your game? Let me know. But for now, that was the video. Thank you all so much for watching. And as per usual, I'm asked you to do the things that every YouTuber always asks you to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And then see y'all next time. Bye bye!